If you pushed open the heavy wooden door of a medieval tavern just after sunset, you wouldn't be stepping into warmth or comfort. There would be no clean tables, no smiling servers, no carefully prepared meals. Instead, a thick wave of heat would hit you instantly, heavy with smoke, sweat, sour ale, and the stench of bodies that hadn't been washed for days, maybe even weeks. Inside was heavy, almost suffocating, thick with the smell of boiled cabbage, burning fat, damp wool, and old wood. The only light came from flickering fire and weak, melting candles. Shadows stretched across the walls, shifting, moving, almost alive. In one corner, a dog gnawed on a bone. Somewhere nearby, someone laughed too loudly. And beneath it all, a constant rhythm filled the room, chewing, slurping, and woulda. This was not a place of peace, and it was not a place of order. There was nothing calm about it, nothing controlled. And yet, it was alive. This tavern was more than noise and chaos, more than smoke and crowded tables. It was a refuge, a place people came to after surviving the day, after the cold, after the labor, after the hunger. Here, for a few short hours, they could rest. They could warm their hands by the fire, fill their stomachs, and feel something rare: safety. The food here wasn't made to impress. There was nothing elegant about it, nothing refined. It was simple, heavy, and necessary. There were no menus, no choices. No one asked what you wanted, because it didn't matter. You ate what was there, or you didn't eat at all. At the center of it all was a single iron pot. Always there, always boiling. At the center of tavern life was a single pot, always hanging over the fire, always boiling. Into it went everything: vegetables, grains, scraps of meat, bones, and whatever was left from the day before. This mixture was called pottage. It was never the same twice. In the morning, it was thin, mostly water, with a faint taste of onions and barley. But as the day went on, more ingredients were added. Bit by bit, it grew thicker, heavier. By nightfall, it became dark, greasy, and strong-smelling. But it filled the stomach, and that was enough. Nothing was wasted. Not here, not ever. If bread went stale, it was torn apart and thrown into the pot. If vegetables began to wilt, they were chopped and boiled again. Even food that had started to spoil was still in use, cooked longer, mixed deeper, hidden inside the stew. Because throwing food away was unthinkable. Every scrap mattered. Every crumb had value. The pot took everything and turned it into something that could still be eaten. Because in this world, waste was a luxury no one could afford. For most people, this wasn't just a meal. It was the only hot food they would have all day. Life was hard, relentless. Farmers worked from sunrise to sunset. Blacksmiths hammered iron for hours without rest. Women carried water, gathered wood, and kept everything running. Travelers walked for miles, through mud, cold, and exhaustion. This was not a world that cared about taste. It cared about survival. The body needed strength. It needed fuel. And this food, heavy, simple, filling, was exactly that. Not made to enjoy, made to endure. Bread was essential, but not the kind we know today. It was dark, dense, rough, made from rye or barley, mixed with whatever grain was available. Sometimes it was so hard, it had to be soaked just to eat it. Bread wasn't just food, it was a tool, used to scoop, to hold, even to serve the meal itself. Meat, on the other hand, was rare, far rarer than we imagine. Most people didn't eat fresh meat often. Animals were too valuable alive. They gave milk, eggs, labor. So the meat was preserved, salted, dried, smoked, cut into small pieces, and stretched through the stew, not to fill the stomach, but to add flavor. Fresh meat, that was a luxury, not a daily reality. And then there was ale, the lifeblood of the tavern. Water was often unsafe, contaminated, unreliable, sometimes deadly. But ale was different. It was boiled during brewing, safer to drink, and so everyone drank it. Men, women, even children. Most of it was weak, low in alcohol, more like liquid bread than anything we would call beer today. It filled the stomach, it quenched thirst, it kept people going. But hygiene, there was another story. Bowls were reused, again and again. The cups were shared, not cleaned, not washed. Rats moved through storage, flies settled on food. And yet, this was normal, accepted, because survival mattered more than cleanliness. And despite everything, these taverns were not miserable places. They were alive, warm, noisy, filled with people. Here, stories were shared, news traveled, deals were made, laughter echoed through the room. Strangers sat side by side, and for a moment, they weren't strangers anymore, because food was never just food. The pot was more than a meal. It was security. The bread was more than sustenance. It was strength. And the table was more than wood. It was a community in a world that was cold, uncertain, and often dangerous. This was enough. Not comfort, not luxury, but survival. And sometimes that was all people needed.